Hi everyone. Today's the 25th of April 2012 and there's been more news that we are in a double dip recession here in the UK. For anyone who's actually living a life in this country, you'll realise that the recession never actually went away. And let me try and explain why this is a good thing. We are in the terminal decline of this imperialist Western-led civilization. A civilization which has given us great things. The theatre, cinema, film, the camera that Stacey's filming on right now. But it's also led to the industrial way of dying on a mass scale. The genocides we've seen, the ethnic cleansing, the lies and the bullshit from imperialist cocksuckers in government. These are things which we shouldn't be proud of. But instead of being depressed and worried about our investments in the stock market with a double dip recession happening now in Europe, unemployment in Southern Europe running at 50% for young people, no one's getting a job, money is becoming more and more worthless, we should take this as a great opportunity to bring the hammer down, to really create enough chaos that this system becomes unrecoverable. Because I don't know about you watching this, but for me it isn't a case of reforming this system. We can only transform it into something entirely different. And one thing about power, as we all know, it doesn't just give up itself because we're more rational or more loving or more spiritual. The disease of man's power over other men is only wrestled from his hands with force. I'm not asking anyone here to go out and be violent or to take the law into your own hands, although the law is in your hands, it doesn't belong to anyone else. But one thing you can do is help financially crash this system. And I've mentioned this in a video before, but you can, in Britain and in many other countries, take out massive loans and you can max out your credit cards. You can sign up to as many contracts with mobile phone companies as you want, and you can help create chaos and help crash this system a bit quicker than it would, because we all know the crash is coming. There's going to be a massive breakdown of, I say, civilization, because what's so civil about this civilization? And the longer we leave it, the longer we allow the rainforests to be cut down, the rivers to be polluted, the fish to be fished out of the oceans at an alarming rate, the longer we let indigenous cultures be taken aside and taken out of the way by oil companies, by gas companies, the longer we let big corporations now frack in America and Britain, the tar sands in Canada, the extraction there, the worse the state the world will be in once we do actually have this crash. I want a crash sooner rather than later. This is meant to be 2012. This is meant to be a year where we, change things. And on a very personal level for me, there's big changes in my life. I've just come back from Brazil, where I needed to go to clear my head and not go crazy. And to kind of re-establish what I actually believe in, because I became a bit dualistic, a bit neutral, a bit torn between A and B. But when you strip away abstractions, you're left with just one thing, and that thing is love. And that's the one thing which can't be abstracted, because it is what it is. It is all that there is. And then you really see just how bullshit our leaders are, just how full of ego and pride and pain they are, and so they don't stand for me, and I hope they don't stand for you. It might not be the case that we need mass protests, although these things are good symbols to inspire other people to not obey. It might be the case that what you need to do is absolutely nothing. Quit your job, max out your credit cards, start living a life, stop working and start living. And I have absolute faith in the human condition, especially in the European condition. We are, as a population, and this does not include our leaders, as a population we are quite peace-loving, quite gentle people, and we help one another in any crisis. And so during civil breakdown, there's no need for hospitals to shut down, there's no need for transport to stop. We should want to move each other around and help each other in hospitals. There's no need for schools to be shut down. We should maybe replace them with an interesting curriculum that actually inspires children and takes into account their differences. But what I'm trying to say most of all is that the absolute breakdown is necessary for anything new to come around. You can try and defeat this propaganda machine of mainstream media news, the CNN, the BBC, Fox News, You can try and create inspiring films at a time when these old Hollywood studios are pumping out the same nationalistic, patriotic bullshit in association with the Pentagon. You can try and set up small stalls and not let young men join the army to go to Iraq and have their balls blown off by other angry young men who have been brainwashed by other religion or ideology on their side. Or you can do what's right, and that is have no part in this system anymore. I don't offer advice or preach things which I don't do myself, and I haven't worked or paid tax or had a income through a bank account for 3 years now, and I'm alive. I love, I live, I travel, courtesy of Uncle HSBC, and fuck 'em. When a company like HSBC can post profits of £13.7 billion, which is about $20 billion in 1 year during this recession, at the same time as 25,000 people die of starvation per day, then I wash my hands of this, and it's a start to not pay tax, it's a start to not vote, but then the next stage is to actually start fighting and to start bringing down this economy, which, as we all know, is fake anyway. That's really all I have to say. Stacey and I were going to do this report from Swinton Precinct, but as is always the case, security and police turned up straight away because we're dangerous criminals. So with a resurgent heart in activism and with doing what's right, now moved to Manchester. This is Charles Veitch signing off, and I hope you take my words seriously and do what you can to crash this system. Thank you.